In this video, we are also reading from a text file as we did in the previous video, except that here we are now splitting the data in the text file into tokens. We have a new project similar to the previous video. It's a blank project, one button, read from text file, and a rich edit. This is saved in a specific folder. We create a text file. You'll notice that our text file is different from the previous video. Now we've got more than one piece of information that's in the text file. So we've got a name that is separated by a hash. We then have the age and thereafter another separator of a hash and then the gender. So we have the name, a hash, the age, a hash, and then the gender. So each line follows this format in which the information in the text file is saved. Ensure that this information or this text file called name.txt is saved in the same folder as your project. Let's see what the coding inside the button read from text file will look like. In this button, we've got a file variable called fill. We have some string variables and a whole lot of integer variables. The first part is exactly as it was in the previous video where we checked to see if the file exists or not. If it does exist, we continue. If it did not exist, the exit will take it out of this procedure. So if the file exists, the sign creates the link you will remember from the internal file to the external file, and reset opens the text file. It opens the text file so that we can now read. There's a couple of counters here that are initialized to 0. The M count counts the number of males, F count counts the number of females, and the U count will count the number of unknowns in the text file. Similar to what we had in the previous video, here's our while not end of file. So while it's not the end of the file, we read. We have to read in order to manipulate, and this is the reading. We read from the text file into the string variable. So let's assume that str equals the first line, which is Winnie Pooh #10 #unknown. The whole idea is now to split these three parts in the string that we have. So our string handling functions and procedures are now utilized to do that. So keep in mind that having read the first line into str, we've got that entire line in the variable str. So let's work with this variable str and manipulate it. We first find the position, pos. We find the position of the hash in str. So what is that position? Because that tells me where the last character would end. And this is at position 12. So position of the hash in str will return 12. We then use the copy statement. That's a function. We copy from str starting from position 1. That will be position 1. And we go up to p-1. We said p was 12. That is where it found the hash. -1 is 11. So 11 will be the h. So it copies from position 1, and it takes 11 characters from position 1. And that gives me the name. So I now have the name in str. Once I've got the name, I now need to get the age. So I'm going to find the position of the hash again. One of the challenges or problems we have with position is that each time we use position, it can only find the first occurrence of whatever we're looking for. So once we've got the name, we then delete everything up to the first hash, including the hash. So delete is a procedure. We delete in str, again, remember that's still the string that we have. We delete start from 1 up to p, and p was 12. So everything from position 1 up to 12 gets deleted. So str now contains 10, hash, and then the gender unknown. So this is now my new value for str. So the first 3 lines here helped me to get my first token. It found the hash, copied to one position before the hash, and deleted. Let's perform the same process to get the second token. Let's get the position hash in the current string. Remember, the current string is now 10, hash unknown. So I've got the position of the hash. In this case, it would be at position 3. I then copy from str, I copy starting from position 1 and take p minus 1. P is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. Take 2 characters. So by taking 2 characters from position 1, I then am able to get the age. And because it's a number, I perform a string to an int, and I store this in an integer variable. In the same way, I do a delete up to the hash. So everything up to the hash will now be deleted. And now my string str will have the value just unknown. So at this stage, the gender is contained in the variable str. All I've done is taken that str and put it into a variable of type string, a gender. I created a variable of type string. So this is the process where I split up my tokens. I split up the tokens by performing my string handling, and I now have each token in a variable. I've got sname, I've got age, and I've got gender. I can now process any of these variables and perform any calculations I need to on them. In this case, I'm checking gender. If it's male, I increment the male counter. If it is female, I increment the female counter. Else would mean if it's not male or female, it has to be unknown. Those are the only 3 possibilities. I then, well, this statement is out. I'm no longer printing anything. I hit the end. Remember, I'm inside of a loop. So that's going to take me all the way back up, as was explained in the previous video. As long as it's not the end of the file, we read the second line. The second line is going to be in the same format. The string handling is going to take place by splitting up the new name, the new age, and the new gender. And then the if statement goes through a process of checking whether the gender is male, female, or unknown, and increments the relative counter, the respective counter. This process just continues until the end of the file has been reached. Once the end of file has been reached, at the end of the loop, it is displayed the name, the total number of males, total number of females, and the total number that are unknown. Let's see how this would work in Delphi. If I run this program, it's the same code that I just demonstrated. And when I click on the button, read from text file, it tells me total males 5, total females 4, and total unknown is 2. I hope this video helps.